It was back. It was a while back. So, okay. So everybody, write down capitalizing on today's changing market. Capitalizing on today's changing market. I'm going to give you four. Well, actually, there's more than that. I'm going to give you several keys here to capitalizing on today's market. But I'm going to start out with four keys of how you have to approach the changing market. Okay. So number one, if you want to capitalize on today's changing market, four things. Just write down two words. Think bigger. Think bigger. The key word that I wrote down is mindset. Your mindset has to be bigger. Now watch this. Has the economy and has the market in general, the real estate market and the state of the economy, has it caused a lot of people to go into survival mode? Okay, to actually think smaller, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where they were making X amount, they were making $300,000 6 years ago. This year they're hoping to make $100,000. And it's not that the income has dropped. That's as significant as the fact your mindset, their thinking has dropped. Okay, so if you want to capitalize on this market, you got to think bigger. And the word is mindset. I'm just going to say one of the things I'm going to be talking about is you got to start reading. You've got to be listening to stuff. You got to be going to seminars. You got to be constantly improving your mind. Just as a real quick book that I've just recently gotten and been watching a lot of his stuff online is the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Phenomenal book. But stuff we're doing also, like when we had New York come in with Tony Robbins is coming to town. Those kind of things are designed to help you think bigger, to be stronger in your mindset in this. So I just wrote down this. Make a die-hard commitment to learning and growing again. Are you here for?
Is this where the technology meeting is?
No.
Oh, is there one here?
A technology meeting today?
Yeah, 12-1.
It's a capitalizing on today's market class.
Oh, okay.
This would probably be the class you're thinking of. If you.
Okay, well, my name's Dean Thomas. It's up here. I'll sit out.
Hey, Dean, come on in. Yeah, Kevin Ward.
Hi,
Good to see you. You see it on Facebook?
One of my agents said that there was a technology class here, and I said, okay, I'm
Interesting.
going.
Okay, this is not a technology class.
All right.
Okay, but it is a class on capitalizing on today's changing market.
Okay, cool.
And in fact, well, I'm not gonna go there just because we have too much material to cover. So I wrote down make a die-hard commitment to learning and growing again. Because see, the reality is, as the market does whatever it's going to do, are most people going to change? Most real estate agents, are most of them going to change, or are they going to keep doing the same stuff?
Same stuff.
They're going to keep doing the same stuff. Okay? So you've got to make some decisions of what to put into your brain and where to hang out. Okay? I'm just going to give you an example of, if you want to think bigger, some things you got to do. I just wrote this down. Never hang out with somebody who complains about gas prices. Why would I say that?
Thinking small.
Okay? What's this? Are you going to drive?
Yes.
Is anybody here going to not drive? What if gas prices go to $12 a gallon? Are you going to still drive a car?
Yep.
Maybe a little less.
Okay? You may drive a little less, but you're still going to drive, right?
Yep.
So here's what I know. If gas prices is a conversation that you have at dinner, okay, it tells me something. You don't have enough money, right? Because if you had all the money you needed, would gas prices ever be a conversation? You think Donald Trump ever has a conversation about the price of gas?
For a different reason.
At his dinner table? Maybe for a different reason, okay? But he's looking at opportunity. He's not complaining about the price of gases. So your association, if I'm hanging out with people who are complaining about the price of gas, what it tells me is I'm hanging out with people who are thinking smaller and they are complaining and looking at the problem rather than looking at the opportunity. Is this making sense, everybody?
Yes.
So write down, under Think Bigger, make goal setting and business planning a priority in your business. You have no choice. If you're going to capitalize in today's market, you have no choice but to spend more time setting goals and planning how you're going to achieve those goals. Does anybody here spend enough time doing that right now? Or could everybody spend more time?
No more time.
Okay? So guess who spends a lot of time in goal setting and business planning?
Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump would be one. A lot of people who are achieving at a very high level, they spend more time thinking about strategy and what do I need to be doing rather than just doing the same old thing over and over and trying to do it harder. Okay? So then right under that, write down, make reviewing your goals and business plan a daily habit. Make reviewing your goals and business plans a daily habit. Why is that important?
So you know where you're going.
Keeps you focused.
You gotta know where you're going. And you gotta stay focused. Because is it easy for us to, okay, did things ever happen in your day that you don't expect in real estate? All the time, right? Did things ever happen that kind of derail you, that knock you off track from where your plans are for that day? And all of a sudden, my whole day is spent, you guys, does anybody here play golf? Okay? Where do you spend most of your time playing? In the fairway or in the rough? Okay? I spend most of my time playing in the rough, which means from the tee box to the green, I'm spending most of the journey often trying to get it back toward the hole. Okay? That's just the way I play. Why? That's where I hit the ball. Okay? A lot of people run their business that way. Is it easier to hit from the fairway or to hit from the rough? Fairway. Okay, it's a whole lot easier to hit a straight shot when you're not having to dodge the trees. Okay? It's a lot easier to hit the ball and get a good shot when you're not in the sand. But that's the way a lot of agents run their business. It gets in the sand and then they spend their whole time in their recovery game. All right? How do I stay out of that? By learning to stay focused and drive the ball down the fairway. How do you do that? By having a clearly in mind your goals and your plan and staying focused on that all the time. When we end up living our whole day in reaction, and all of a sudden at the end of the day, I ran out of time. Sunset, I can't even see the green now. Too late. Okay, so we've got to make that a part. If we're going to think bigger, we've got to spend more effort and more time thinking bigger, or you're never going to even see the opportunities in this market. Now, is it possible to capitalize on these opportunities in this market if you don't see them? Yes or no?
No.
Everybody say no. No. If you don't see, if you're not focused on opportunity and looking for it, if you're not setting goals, and all you're trying to do is, oh no, I don't know how I'm going to make my car payment, then what happens is you become very tunnel vision at surviving, and you never even see opportunity. Okay, that's why I'm telling you, you can't hang out with people who are always focused on the problems. So some of us need to make some major changes in the people we're hanging out with. Okay, and the conversations that we're having. If you want to capitalize, before you can even look at capitalizing on the opportunities I'm going to share with you, you've got to think bigger again. Okay. Number 2, the second key is get better. Get better. You got to think bigger, number 1, and number 2, you got to get better. And I just wrote the word down, growth. Now there are 2 areas where we've really got to get better as real estate professionals. 1 is in our knowledge, and 2 is in our skills. Okay? I read an article in Riz Media this weekend that was very interesting, and the article said that most real estate agents are not in the real estate business. We're in the home ownership business. And what he said is real estate, is the majority of real estate about homeowners buying a house and homeowners selling it, home buyers buying a house and homeowners selling a house. Is that the primary, where the majority of real estate is done? And he said, interestingly, what percentage of home sales will be done this year of purchases in the real estate market, in the residential real estate market, will be done by investors? Okay, now he did not give the percentage, but even the old percentages is over 25% every year of homes bought and sold, or residential units bought and sold in America is investors. Okay, what do you know about it? And that most real estate agents are not in the real estate business, they're in the home ownership business because they don't really know anything beyond listing somebody's house for sale and selling it and helping a buyer go out and find a house and buy it, right? Is there a lot of opportunity out there in the investment world right now in real estate?
Yes.
Everybody say yes?
Yes.
Huge opportunity. In fact, I think that's where the biggest opportunity is that we're going to talk about today, is in that realm. And in the last 2 years, the numbers have continued to climb on the number of real estate transactions that are being done by investors. And it's going to continue to be a very strong part of the market. And most agents don't have the knowledge or the skill to handle it. Have you ever noticed that real estate agents don't like investors very much? Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that investors, come on in, have you noticed that investors don't like real estate agents very much? Why? Why is that the case? They don't understand it.
Right.
Agents don't understand real estate investing, and real estate investors, if they're legitimate investors, know that most agents don't understand it. Does this make sense? Would you consider real estate investing to be risky?
It is risky, but
Okay.
if you know what you're doing, you
Yeah.
reduce the risk.
Would you consider open heart surgery to be risky? Okay? Not if you know what you're doing. Okay? So, Robert Kiyosaki says, investing is not risky. Ignorance is risky. And the reality is that most real estate agents, when it comes to anything besides buying and selling a house, are virtually ignorant. So if you want to capitalize on today's market, you got to get better. And one of those areas is in your knowledge of real estate as an industry, whether it's investment, whether it's commercial, wherever the opportunities are, is continuing to learn beyond what you do that, and then improving your skills is just about practicing, getting coaching and mentorship and so forth. Number 3, work harder. Work harder. The reason that most real estate agents aren't able to capitalize on stuff in today's market is, frankly, they don't show up. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, my name's Kevin.
Darren, no.
Darren, pleasure to meet you. Glad you're here. Yeah, good to have you. So they don't even show up. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? They don't even show up. If you don't show up, you're not going to make money. This is a business where in this day and age, used to, you could just have a real estate license and stumble onto a couple of deals a year. And in the beach cities, that was not a bad income. Okay? Does that happen anymore?
No.
Okay? Are people just hanging out with their license and getting deals? It's not happening. Not at all. Okay? So you've got to work harder. The key word I want you to write down there under number 3 is discipline. And then number 4, if you want to capitalize on today's market, guys, you got to wake up. That's my other call. Is as real estate professionals, I think we just have to wake up. A lot of times we've got to grow up. We've got to stop complaining. We've got to take ownership of our business and quit waiting for somebody else to come give us the magic pill. Quit looking for the magic bullet. Quit looking for the magic pill. Quit going out and hoping that this deal's going to do it or this marketing company is going to do it. I am seeing more agents spending more money on lead generation techniques and companies that will promise you web leads and they'll give you these leads and all this. I'm not seeing anything wrong with that. Okay? But I'm not seeing top producers making their money off of that. Okay? The reality is 5 years ago, would you have ever dreamed this would be our real estate market today?
No.
No, nobody would have ever dreamed it. Okay? Is this a phase we're going through? We're gonna bounce out over the next couple of years.
No.
Okay? I'm gonna tell you something, guys. This is the new reality. This is the new real estate where that, for example, if you're gonna buy a house, you actually have to have money and a job and credit. Okay? I mean, that's the new world. In our careers, in our lifetimes, we're not going to ever probably go back to the stupidity that ruled us for the first 5 or 6 years of the 21st century. Okay? It's just not, it was not going to happen. So you got to understand, it's not going to come back the way it was then. I mean, we were so amazingly spoiled, and we are reaping the benefits, we're reaping what we sowed, which was bad money, bad decisions, bad economics. And so this is our new world. So we got to just wake up, grow up, take ownership. I wrote down, quit waiting for someone to make it easier and show you how. Nobody is going to beg you to be successful. Have you noticed that? Nobody's going to beg you to be successful and say, come on, please be successful. Please become great. Nobody's going to beg you to do that. You're going to have to make that decision. Okay? So I want you to write down this word. Write down the word preparation. Preparation. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you believe that over the next year or two the economy is going to get better? Raise your hand. If you believe that over the next couple of years it's going to get better. Okay. How many of you believe it's going to get worse before it gets better? Okay. How many of you believe over the next couple of years it's going to be about the same? Okay, so most of you believe over the next couple of years may get a little worse, may get a little better, but for the most part it's going to be the same. Okay? How many of you just don't care? Okay? One person raised their hand, which is interesting. Dean's the only one that raised his hand. That's the position you need to take. Doesn't matter. And here's what I mean by that. You need to be prepared so that whichever way the economy goes, you're ready and you're going to do great. Are there people right now that have, over the last 3 or 4 years, have made a ton of money? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Are there going to be, in the next 5 years, a ton of people going to be making a lot of money in America? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So the opportunity is there. Are they making it because they have superior intelligence? Are they making it because they were born with a golden spoon in their mouth? Okay. Or are they making it because they're seeing opportunity and taking advantage of it? Okay. Exactly. Because they see the opportunity and they're taking advantage of it. So the key is I've got to be situated so that whichever way the market goes, I'm going to find the opportunities and I'm going to make money. That's got to be your position. So you're going to have to wake up and be committed to personal growth and education. That's got to become a top priority. And if there's one thing that I can send you guys out of here with today, it is that the things that you've got to be doing every day is you've got to be reading, you've got to be paying attention, you need to be attending every seminar, every kind of learning program that you can. You've got to be doing that every day, every week, every month. If you're not learning and growing, you're not going to make it in this new world, in this new economy. Okay? Robert Kiyosaki says knowledge is the new money. And he said basically his point is the people that are going to do well in the economy for the rest of our lifetime are those who have the knowledge of where the opportunities are and are willing to act on it.
Kevin, you mind me saying something to that?
Sure.
I had 20 minutes open in my schedule, you guys, and I just, whenever I can learn something, I want to stop by and do it. So when I heard you were doing this, and Darren actually told me,
Oh, cool.
we work together, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to leave in like 5 minutes, and I don't want to be rude when I leave because he stands the whole thing. You know? But, you know, I came to I figured something out a few days ago, and that is that I've been selling real estate in 5 decades.
Scary.
I got my license in the 70s, so I sold the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and now the 2000s teens, whatever we call it, right? So that's a lot of experience. And what I want to share with you guys is in 1983 and 82, the interest rates were 21%. 21%. So just when I got into the business, they were 11.5. So just do the math on what a person's mortgage payment is at 8%, and that will get somebody off the fence. So I've never even met Kevin before. I just had a little bit of time. Nice meeting you, Kevin.
I appreciate you coming
Please, when I leave, don't think I'm being rude. I just was trying to fill in 25, 30 minutes.
And I appreciate you letting me know so I didn't feel bad when you left.
Thank you.
That's something I said.
No, I just I wanted you to know that, right?
For those of you that know me, I don't really care if you don't like what I say. I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's talk about now some specific strategies in the next 4 months, for the rest of this year, and for the next 2 or 3 years for sure they're going to help you make more money. So I wrote down number 1 is learn where to find the business. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys in terms of opportunity, where are opportunities to find the business. Okay? There are 2 groups of people in this world. People that you know and people that you don't know. So in Keller Williams terminology, we have your Mets and we have your haven't Mets. Okay? Does that make sense? How many of you have ever gotten business from your Mets, from somebody that you know? Gotten business from? Okay, so everybody's got a license, has gotten business from people you know. How many of you have ever gotten business from people you didn't know? Okay, so all of you have done that. Which group's bigger? The don't know, the haven't Mets, right? Okay, so you're going to have to spend your time finding business from people you know and from people you don't. Now, I'm just going to show you that here is the areas that you got to be focusing on in terms of learning where to find business. Number 1 is what I call your personal circle. That's your Mets. That's the people that you know. Okay, and we teach you and train you all the time on how do you get a 10% return on that. For every 10 people in your database, you can get 1 deal a year. Okay, now it can be better than that. Christina Martinez, when she was in Millionaire Real Estate, the Millionaire Real Estate books, when they interviewed her back in 2003, she had 100 clients that she did 300 deals with in 1 year. Okay, is that a little outside the box?
Yes.
Would you guys be okay with that kind of return on your personal circle? Okay, she said, I take homeowners, and for years she said, I've taken homeowners and I turn them into investors. I create the dream for them of building wealth through real estate. And she says, all I do is work with the people that I know, and they average buy 3 homes a year from me. Okay, what are they doing? Creating wealth. Think there's some opportunity there? Okay, so that's one of the areas where you really got to focus on finding the business. I'm going to teach you today a little bit more about how to do that. Okay, the second thing is on what I call the high impact prospects, which is people that are doing stuff right now, like for sale by owners, expireds, NODs, and probate. Now, what do you know about those four groups?
They
What?
they wanna do something.
They're gonna do something. Either they want to or they have to. These are a group of people that I call high impact prospects. And still, even in this economy, there's not 2% of agents that's with any kind of skill or intentional strategy go after them on a consistent basis. That there is a fortune to be had there. The other thing is finding people through open houses. Okay, got a listing? It's a great place to get fast business, right? Okay. Another thing that I'm going to that I constantly tell you guys you got to do, spend more time doing, is previewing properties. Now I'm going to tell you that if you want to generate more business, don't just do it during broker opens. But what if you went out and previewed properties on the weekends or went to open houses when you're just going out to open houses? What if you went and previewed vacant properties during the week when nobody else is around? Okay? Have you ever been out at a house, looking at a house, and seen somebody pull up in front of it and kind of stop in front of the sign and they're writing stuff down, or they're now taking a picture of the QR code or whatever? Have you ever seen that happen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever walked up and had a conversation with them?
Yep.
Okay. Have you ever gotten business out of it, Sherry? Okay.
Yes.
You get business out of that. Okay. Dean, hey, thanks for coming.
thank you. I'll
Good
see
to
you
see you. You bet. You get business out of that. Why? Because you're out where business happens.
And they're asking you about the business. It's an easy conversation to have.
Oh, it's a great conversation to have. They pull up and says, hey, have you guys seen the house yet? Would you like to? Okay. And if it's some creepy, scary person, use your judgment, okay? But it's just you're there. Here's what happens. When you're out in the market, business happens. Okay? Plus, what else happens when you're out previewing properties? For you. You're learning. You're knowing the business. You're knowing the market. You're learning. So when it goes back to one of the keys is you gotta get better. Which part of that is better knowledge, having more knowledge. The more knowledge you have of the market, the better off you're going to be working with buyers and sellers. Because what does knowledge give you?
Power.
Power. Okay. What else does it give you? If you have knowledge of the market, confidence. Okay. Which confidence is huge power when you're working with buyers and sellers, right? So there's huge opportunities here, both for finding business and for getting better at converting business with these other opportunities. And then the other aspect is just going out and looking for business either by doors or phones, and that is talking to more people. What kind of business is this?
Talk to the people.
It's a talk to the people business. If you're not talking to people, you're not converting business, right? Can you, for example, what's this? If you're not going on appointments, either with qualified, motivated buyers or sellers, can you do any business?
No.
No. If you're not going on appointments, I know one thing about it, you're not making money. Okay? How do you get appointments? You have to talk to people. And so if the people I know haven't got me the business, if I go after these, and these, this is just another way to create more business opportunity, and that is by talking to more people in my habit mix. And as I do that, I'm doing two things. One is I'm looking for business opportunity now, but the other thing is I'm looking to convert people into my personal circle to build future business. Does this make sense? So in terms of the strategies for capitalizing on the business, is that you've got to be out there talking to the people and asking for business. And you've got to do it strategically, and these are 5 of the key areas that strategically you can be out there doing it. And we train you and teach you all the time on how to take advantage of this. Okay? So do you have a clear picture of this, guys? Okay? Is this something that, how many of you feel like right now you're operating at an 80% or better in terms of effectiveness and efficiency with all of these areas? Anybody? 80% or better? Okay, so it's Darren, right?
Sure, yeah.
Darren, good. Okay, so if you're not, what should you be doing? Go back to, you gotta be doing more goal setting and business planning and make this a part of your strategic plan. Okay, so this is, if I'm gonna capitalize on the opportunity, one, this is where I've gotta go to do it. Make sense? All right, now, write down number 2, the second strategy I'm gonna talk about, and that is finding the hidden buyers in the market. Would you guys be interested in finding some hidden buyers in the market right now?
Yes.
Okay, everybody say yes.
Yes.
Oh yes, all right, good. So, where are they? Okay, where are the hidden buyers in the market right now? Well, here's the hidden buyers.
People who aren't paying their mortgage. Oh, buyers, sellers.
They're the hidden buyers. Those are the hidden sellers, they're out there too. But that's, under that, that's already there. Watch this. Are there people that you know right now who could benefit financially from buying a piece of real estate right now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so, and I told you where to look. Now I'm going to show you how to find, in looking among these groups, I'm going to show you some different ways that you can find hidden buyers, partly because they don't realize what's available. I mean, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they're like, I've always wanted to kind of get into buying real estate. I've wanted to get into investing, I just didn't know what to do, or I don't have enough money, or I don't, whatever. You ever had that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to write down some stuff. Here are some opportunities of people who think real estate is something they'd like to do but don't know what to do or don't think they can. Number one, homeowners with equity. Homeowners with equity. Now, is it possible for a homeowner to take, if they have a lot of equity in their home, is it possible for them to take some money out?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Is there risk with that? Can it be done stupidly?
Yes.
Okay, so all of this is just, I'm showing you where to find it. I'm not telling you how to do it or that it's always the right thing to do. I'm just saying that here is opportunity. If you've got a homeowner with equity, can they take some equity out and buy rentals? If they've got enough equity and they're in a position where they can take equity out to buy rental property, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely, okay? So number one, that's one place to look, and that is homeowners that have equity. There are opportunities out there to create business out of that. Number two, look for people that have 401k or similar type money. 401k funds, retirement funds, and so forth. Okay? Did you know that you can use 401k money to buy investment real estate?
Yes.
How many of you already knew that? Okay? So most of you already knew that. How many of you have actually helped somebody use 401k money to buy something other than a personal residence?
I'm trying right now.
Okay? You're working on it right now. Okay?
I should have myself right now.
It's one of the reasons, which is perfect, it's one of the reasons that we've had a lot of trainers, a lot of people come in here and teach you about 1031 exchanges and teaching you about, I'm talking to a guy, David Coe, who we're going to have come in and talk about using 401k money and retirement funds to help people invest in real estate. Okay? Because you can invest in real estate with 401k funds in some pretty amazing ways. And the cool thing is, and I was talking to David Coe about this, that's his whole business model is he helps take people at 401k money and then invest it. And here's what he says: we're getting a minimum of 10% cash on cash return. Would you guys consider that a pretty good return right now on investment? Phenomenal investment. That's cash flow. Now, when people buy real estate investment, what are the ways that they typically think of making money?
Flip.
Okay, flipping is one way. Okay, which is not investing.
Right.
Okay, flipping is flipping. Investing is where I invest and I get cash flow, I get return. Flipping is transactional. It's just like selling a house. How many times do you get paid? One time. That's not investing. That's flipping. Totally different thing. Okay? So what are ways in investing? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. In fact, we've got a great book here that was written and done by Gary Keller and his people on how to do it. Okay? But it's not investing in its purest sense. So what are ways people look at getting return or getting return on investing?
Rentals.
Okay.
Rentals and equity.
Rental, okay, so one is rentals, which we call cash flow, and the other is equity, which comes through what?
Holding.
Well, it comes through holding, but how does it come?
Appreciation.
Either through appreciation or paying down the equity, paying down the note. Make sense? Okay? Which is more important for somebody who's looking at a retirement account?
Rentals.
Okay? Cash flow. Okay, so watch this, because what do? You take that and you put it back in. Now watch. So if I'm getting a 10 to 12% return, would that beat most 401k plans today in terms of safety? And mutual funds, stock market, and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, what has been the average return on the average mutual fund in the last 5 years?
2 or 3% minus maybe.
We're in the negative, folks.
We're losing money, people.
Mine's in Canada.
Okay? Okay, I want everybody to write this down.
Smart ass.
I want everybody to write this down. Can you afford to retire? Write it down. Can you afford to retire?
That's a really easy question.
At what age?
PBS program. And I want you to go and I want you to Google, can you afford to retire on PBS? And there is a program on Frontline that they did a few years ago, Can Americans Afford to Retire? And it talks specifically about 401ks and mutual funds. And in 2006, this whole thing, and they went and they interviewed hundreds of people who had 401ks, who were investors, and all of that. And basically they said, America, you're in trouble. Okay, when I tell you wake up, while ago, I'm not kidding, guys. 401ks are probably as effective as Social Security as creating your financial retirement. Okay? Unless you do something dramatically different than what the average American's doing. Okay? So if you can take 401k and put that into a safe investment vehicle, which is called real estate, that will get you 10 to 12, then if you get appreciation over the next 10, 20 years, or 30 years, or whatever, have you still done okay?
Yes.
What if you don't get any appreciation? Have you still done okay?
Yes.
Absolutely. Vance?
The old financial planning rule was 8%.
Which has
Of
always
your
been,
investment.
yeah.
Today, it's 5. Financial planners are talking about 5%.
And there's
on
no
your
guarantees. For the I mean, there are, you know, you can do different kind of indexed annuities and stuff like that where there's guaranteed protection of, which is not a bad thing, but this is better. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay? Now, are there people out there in real estate getting better returns than that?
Definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Does it have to be retirement funds?
No.
Okay? And here's the thing, guys, is that if you don't understand, if you know how to create enough cash flow, do you have to wait till retirement to start enjoying it?
No.
Okay? What's the rule? I mean, why would you have to wait if you can create a lot of cash flow? So just one area though where there is huge opportunity is for people to be buying investment is, let me go back and just make something I assumed. Would you say that if somebody wants to invest in real estate, this is a pretty good time to be doing it?
Yes, definitely.
Okay? When was the last time in American history interest rates were lower than they are today?
After the depression.
It's like
Okay.
44.
Well, since they started tracking it in, what, 1974, 71, Friday was the lowest ever. Ever. Okay? Now, would you say that over the next, in the future, interest rates are likely to go lower or higher?
Higher.
Okay? I mean, there's not a whole lot lower they could go mathematically. I mean, it's just like, there's not a whole lot less you can do. So, watch this. If you're representing a client, would you recommend a fixed rate or an adjustable rate mortgage?
Fixed.
Okay? Why in the world would anybody get an adjustable rate mortgage today? There is no reason in the world unless it's greed, and we've already seen what greed costs. Okay? Well, I can get a little bit better house, I can get a little bit lower. Right, but you know what? In 5 years, you are going to be paying more. And there's no telling how much more, but it's going to be more. Okay? But the reality is, I mean, the whole assumption I'm making, guys, if you're investing in real estate, when is a good time to buy?
Anytime.
When prices are low, right? Buy low, sell high, the old thing. Okay? Well, buy low, this would be the time. But I'm going to tell you that in the new reality, in the new economy, in the new real estate market, you don't buy for appreciation anymore, ever. What do you buy for?
Cash flow.
Cash flow. Okay? Because is appreciation guaranteed?
No.
No. Is it going to happen? Over the long haul?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to happen. But it's a bonus, because watch this. If you buy for appreciation and the market goes south again, are you in trouble?
Yes.
You can be in trouble. But if you buy for cash flow, watch this. I bought $1 million fourplex that I bought in 2005, and I was renting it, and I was getting $6,000 a month in revenue. And that property dropped. Now it's worth $700,000. How much cash flow am I still getting?
It's the same.
Same.
I'm still getting $6,000 a month in cash flow, right? Because the rental rates have not really dropped, but property values have. If I bought for appreciation, I'm screwed. But if I bought for cash flow, okay, cash flow protects you from market downturns. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you have ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki? In the 1990s, what was he telling you to buy for?
Cash flow.
Cash flow, not appreciation. He said, if you want to be wealthy, you buy for cash flow, not appreciation. And today, it never looked so brilliant as what he was saying way back then, when the market was just getting ramped up to do its crazy thing. Okay, so one is doing that. Now I'm going to give you another hidden buyer in this market that there are a ton of in the South Bay and especially in the beach cities. Okay, everybody write this down. Investment owners who have no depreciation advantage. How many people own rental property in the South Bay that they have owned for over 20 years? A lot of them. How much benefit are they getting from depreciation?
Zero.
Okay, virtually none. Okay, straight line depreciation on real estate investment, what is it? Does anybody know?
13 and a half years.
Okay, is it 13 and a half years?
I thought so.
more than that, isn't it? Do you know, Karen, for sure?
No,
I thought it was 27 and a half
I
years.
Yeah.
was-
I think it's 27 and a half years on real estate.
Yeah.
So I want you to see the advantage here. I've got a rental property. Let's say it's worth $1 million, okay? Okay, I've got a rental property and it's worth $1 million. I'm just kind of make sure I'm staying on my notes here. Okay, if I've owned it for 20 years, and let's say I bought it for $300,000, okay, I've got the appreciation. Is it worth anything? Is the equity worth anything to me while I have it in that property?
No.
Not really. I mean, it's because what's my cash flow? My cash flow is say 6,000. Let's just say so let me just do this. Let's say you got a note on it and everything, you got a mortgage on it. And let's say your positive cash flow on it is $1,000 a month after you got after expenses and debt service. Let's just say you're at $1,000 a month positive cash flow. Okay, everybody understand where we're going with that? Okay. But I've owned it for 20 years. So what is my annual income? 12 grand. How much of that is taxable? Because this is positive cash flow. After expenses and after
all taxable.
debt service, it's all taxable. So I'm taxed on $12,000. But what if I took that $1 million property and I did a 1031 exchange and I sold it and just did a right swap and I bought another fourplex for $1 million? Okay? Could I buy a property that's going to give me as good a cash flow?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably better. Okay, there's a whole lot of different things I can do because if I've owned this for 20 years, I may have a lot of equity.
Yes.
And let's say I had $1 million, let's say I owned it free and clear, which there's a lot of guys out there that have that right now. Could I take that $1 million and leverage it and buy a $3 million property
Yes.
and create a lot more
Yes.
cash flow?
Yes.
Oh, guys, huge. Yeah, but then I'd have to manage all these more properties. Guys, hire somebody else. Okay, be an investor, not a property manager. Okay? But let's just say I just flipped it into something exactly like it, and you could do a 1031 exchange and you could buy something for $3 million. But let's just say I did that, and let's just say that I still got debt service on there. I still have debt service on this, so my positive cash flow, let's just say, is $1,000 a month. Everybody understand that? Okay? So how much is my income a year? $12,000. How much am I paying on that in taxes?
Less the depreciation. Right?
Okay,
You start
because the
depreciating.
government's actually going to pay me now. Okay, you know why? Let's just say this. Now, this depends on how you can do it, but you can probably get, let's just say conservatively, you can get 500,000 of that, and it's probably more than that, but I'm going to say real conservatively. What if only 500 of that is depreciable? You understand you can't depreciate land. Everybody got that? So the lot is not depreciable. So I can't depreciate the lot, but I can appreciate the improvements. Probably it's going to be closer to 700,000 or 800,000 the way you can set it up. Okay? Now it may not be that actually, but if you can do it legally, it's 500,000 to 700,000. Does everybody feel okay with that? Would that be realistic? Okay, which would you be going to run it on, 500,000 or 700,000?
500.
500,000. We'll be conservative. So somebody have a calculator? Okay, 500,000 divided by how many years?
27.
I get to write off that 500,000 as depreciation over 27 and a half years. So what's 500,000 divided by 27.5? $18,182. That is loss. I lost 18,000. So where else can you have an investment where you make $12,000 a year that you put in your pocket, but you lost 6,000 in taxes? Because I take that, this is my profit, this is my loss. I'm $6,000 in the red on my income taxes. Okay, but I pocketed $12,000. Does this make sense to everybody? So I reduced my tax liability huge compared to this person who's paying taxes on $12,000. The government's paying me for doing a 1031 exchange.
And the reason he doesn't have the depreciation on the left side is because he's owned it for so long that he's already it's already past that.
He's already used it.
26
Yeah.
point whatever he said.
Yep. Make sense? Okay, but if I've owned it, I may still have some depreciation on this.
Right.
Okay, but watch this. If I've got, for example, $1 million in equity in this, can I leverage it and buy more? Is that kind of investment risky?
Yes.
Okay, no. Ignorance is risky. If you make a stupid 1031 exchange, it's very risky. Okay, but if you know what you're doing, is it risky? Yes or no?
No.
No, it is not risky. The problem is, most agents don't know. And that's why it's risky. So what should you do? Learn. Okay? What if you spend the next 12 months committing to go to every seminar, everything I can learn, watch everything online, everything I can to learn about the strategies of investing in real estate and why some guys are making millions in real estate right now. I'm just showing you one where you can take homeowners in your market area and people who are here who are just local small-time investors. They own a fourplex, they own a duplex, they own a 6-unit, or they own 7 rental properties. And they get no depreciation, and they take that money, and there is, now watch this, what's the benefit for you?
Commission on the sale.
Commissions. Okay, but watch this, what else is the benefit? Do you think they might want to do more business with you? Do you think they might tell their friends who also own a fourplex?
Yes.
Okay? How many agents right now out of what, 3,000 in the South Bay, how many are taking advantage of that?
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10 agents, yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows about it? See, most people don't even know about it.
Know
Okay.
about 1031 exchanges?
Oh, no, we all know what a 1031 exchange is, but who's taking advantage of the opportunity that creates for these hidden buyers? Okay? Because there were even agents in our office who had this setting in front of them and never even knew about it. Okay? There's a fortune, guys, right here in business. I mean, how would you like to find 10 of these people in the next 12 months and help them do that?
It's hard to convince them.
Okay, so would you guys, is it hard to convince them, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, maybe. Okay, is it hard to convince an expired to list with you?
Yeah.
No, it's hard. So what are you going to do? Know what to say. Get better at it. Get more knowledge of it. And learn the skills of how to approach it.
How would you find those people?
Okay? Great question. How'd you find them?
You can look Realist Tax or get your title company to
Title
pull up
company, when
people
they
that have owned
You can pull
income properties for more than 20 years.
You ever heard of an equity farm? You know, we talk about farming. What about an equity farm? People that have owned a property for over 10 years. Okay? And you can look on the tax record, it will tell you a lot. Then what do? Ring, ring. Go talk to them. Facebook doesn't work.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay? I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying, if you want to do this, there's huge opportunity. Does that make sense to everybody?
Regular customer.
Okay, so there's just huge opportunities out there, right there. Now, I just wrote down number 3, strategy for capitalizing on today's market. Number 3. So that was number 2, find the hidden buyers. So I've shown you 3 places you can find hidden buyers. Homeowners with equity, people that have money in retirement funds, and people that own rental properties that aren't getting appreciation. That's just, I showed you that in 15 minutes. Do you think there's more opportunity out there? Okay, how did I find out about that?
You did it.
I'm freaking learning and studying and listening. I'm spending my weekends. I spent my weekend this week, I spent 14 hours watching video and listening to audio from training stuff that I bought. Okay, just getting ready for this class. Just this weekend. And all this stuff for the class I've been doing for months, or weeks anyway. So, number 3, so that's why I say you got to be committed to personal development, growth, and learning. So number 3, create your own financial plan. This is number 3, the third specific strategy to crush it in the next few years. Create your own financial plan for cash flow. You want to capitalize on today's market opportunities? Do you think the opportunity exists for you? Okay? Absolutely, guys. I mean, it's the most amazing thing to me, and I've been a realtor since 1998, and I was just like everybody else. I didn't get how serious I should be about taking advantage of becoming wealthy through real estate until I came to Keller Williams and I started seeing these books like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. When this book was written by Gary Keller, I mean, the people they interviewed to write this book were people who were millionaires as real estate agents, and a lot of them were not even Keller Williams agents. But he looked for wealthy people. He said, I want to find wealthy agents who built their, and he says, number 1, become an investor. Okay? So this book in itself, how many of you have a copy of this book? Okay, so almost all of you have a copy of the book. How many of you have read this book? Okay, so pretty much all of you, which is good. How many of you have read it in the last 6 months? Okay, so you should read it again. 2 of you have read it in the last 6 months. Amazing stuff in here, okay? Again, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Now, why does this book have credibility? Because it wasn't a book written as theoretical. It was written out of interviews with millionaire real estate people who are literally millionaires in real estate. And it's not just own a net worth of $1 million in real estate. It's people who have created cash flow in both of these books of up to $1 million a year. Okay, which would be better? $1 million net worth, $1 million cash flow.
Cash flow.
Okay, did I get your attention? Okay, so Shift is another book. I mean, these books are always do this. But guys, read beyond that. Okay, I'm just gonna. How many of you have seen? Here, this is right. You've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? This is his latest book, Unfair Advantage. Okay, you should go out there today and read this book yesterday.
What's it about?
Okay, it's about the unfair advantages the wealthy people have in America.
Go to Borders, are going out of business.
Okay, yeah, you can get it. I mean, guys, you can buy these books on Amazon. I bought. I don't know. I bought 5 or 6 of these books for $29 total from Amazon, and I them all shipped for free.
Right.
Okay, but Unfair Advantage is his latest book. It is just it will just kind of go. I didn't know. Okay. And then books on real estate investing. I like Kiyosaki because I like the numbers that he's generated in his own personal real estate portfolio.
What's
in the last
that one now? What's your name? Name of that one?
Advanced Guide to Real Estate Investing. Just go Google Robert Kiyosaki and buy everything.
It's easy to read also.
It's very easy to read. And then Donald Trump. I mean, if you want to create wealth in real estate, wouldn't it make sense to learn from somebody who's created billions?
Yeah.
Okay? Just as an example, and there's tons of these books. I mean, he's written probably half a dozen books on investing. Okay? And then this one, to me, is probably, if you're going to buy just one book on real estate investing, Robert Kiyosaki had his team of real estate investors, the people he works with, wrote this book.
What's it called?
Okay? It's called The Real Book of Real Estate.
I don't have it. I have the others, but I don't have that one.
So, and then there are books on, so I don't have any money. How do I start? Read these books. See, what's the new money? Knowledge. Okay, knowledge is the new money. Wendy Patton is a Keller Williams, been a top producer of Keller Williams. I think she's an operating principal of several market centers now. She is phenomenal when it comes to creative ways to get into real estate investing. Okay, and this was a free ebook. Okay, she does webinars, she does all kinds of stuff. Just go to Wendy Patton. I think it's wendypatton.com, I think. You can find her on you can go to Facebook, you can go to My Friends and look up Wendy Patton. You can friend her and find the stuff. Darren?
Since you're talking about books, I rarely hear, I've been around a lot of different companies, but I rarely hear anybody talk about a book called Predictably Irrational.
Haven't heard of it.
That's right.
So tell me about it.
And the reason why is, I've heard that Alan something is the writer of it. But I've been around this business for almost 10 years and done very well, and have never, nothing against these books. I just don't personally have a whole lot of time for reading books, frankly. But that's one book I've read over a couple of times. And as you mentioned, knowledge, sure, it's extremely powerful, but knowing what other people are actually going to do before they do it is even more powerful. So there is a tremendous amount of things that every one of us do similarly and think similarly and will react similarly to things. In the real estate business, knowing what your clients are going to do before they do it is really wise stuff.
Interesting.
And it's an incredible book.
So
What's the name of it again?
Predictably irrational.
Yeah.
Predictably irrational.
Sounds like fire. Dan
Yeah.
A. Riley.
So,
Dan A. Riley.
by Dan A. Riley.
Could be.
The Power of Technology.
It's orange and white.
Is it orange and white?
Orange blue.
Okay, is that what it looks like? She's got a picture of it.
A-R-I-E.
Okay.
Turn around yourself.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think that was featured in Success Magazine this month too, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. So you guys should be reading Success Magazine.
What's the last?
Okay, guys, get that afterwards. Okay, we got to cover, because I want you guys want one more thing on creating wealth?
Yes.
Hey, let me just, so I'm gonna wrap up this. Not creating wealth, I'm gonna wrap that, another strategy. But in terms of creating your own financial plan for cash flow, one is investing, doing your own, okay? Through Keller Williams, there's huge opportunity in profit sharing, creating passive cash flow, okay? I mean, our office here alone last month profit shared over $4,500. That's money that
People
goes
got big checks.
directly to back to agents who've helped this company grow. And what's this? A lot of agents in our market center have led other agents to Keller Williams all across the country. Okay, so wherever they are, when they contribute to the profit of that company, that agent that referred them to the company gets profit share. Okay, and does anybody here know Al D'Amico?
Yes.
Okay, Al D'Amico is pretty extreme example because he's been in for 7 or 8 years with Keller Williams. But last year, him and his wife made over $100,000 in totally passive cash flow in their profit sharing, and they'll make that for the rest of their lives without doing anything. If they quit real estate tomorrow, that check will never go away.
Yeah, because you recruited whole companies.
Okay, well, exactly. Okay, so would you be interested in learning how to do that? Talk to Al. He'll talk to you. Okay. Now, he got in here early, and he got in here. I understand that. That's what everybody's always said about opportunity. Okay, but can I tell you that there's going to be a few 100,000 new licensees coming to real estate in the next 3 or 4 years? Okay, if you did what he did, the same numbers are possible. Okay, in the same period of time. So don't allow limited thinking or limiting belief to stop you from getting wealthy because, well, you know, but Donald Trump, his dad was rich to begin with and he got a head start. Okay. Would that be an advantage for him, yes or no?
Sure.
Absolutely. Was that an advantage for Mike Ferry?
Yes.
Okay.
Tom Ferry.
Maybe for Tom Ferry, but not for Mike Ferry. His parents were alcoholics and as a kid lived on dirt floors. Okay, it was no, and yet, and I don't know what he's worth now, but I know that his cost of living, his monthly cost of living is like $267,000 a month cash flow. That's what it takes to pay his bills every month. Okay, including the huge yacht they're building. Okay, opportunity still there. Okay, so I'm just saying you can let limiting beliefs stop you or not. I prefer the not. Okay, so that's one way. There's a lot of other ways you can do it. Read this book. If you want to just find multiple ways to create cash flow, read the book. Okay? So let's talk. Let's see, we got 6 minutes. You want me to show you one other way to create wealth? All right. How many of you have had a seller that wanted to make a move, but said, well, the market's crashed, we lost so much money, we're going to wait till the market gets better. How many of you ever heard that objection? We're going to wait till the market gets better. How would you like to convert them now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about how do you convert somebody who says, I want to wait. I first started teaching this, first time I ever taught this was August 16th, 2010, almost exactly a year ago, where I taught this as a strategy for helping people converting buyers and sellers now. Well, we want to wait on the market. So here's the situation. Here is the house they're in today, okay? Now, what if they want to upsize into a bigger house? Is there people that would like to upsize?
Yes.
Okay. What about if they want to make a horizontal move for whatever reason? Maybe it's to get closer to their work or closer to their family, or they want a different type of property, but it's the same price range. Make sense?
Yes.
So let's say we're going from $1 million house to $1 million house. Okay. Are there people that would like to do that? Okay. What if they're interested in downsizing? Are there people that would like to downsize? Okay. And yet they say, well, we're going to wait on the market. Whatever their reasoning is, I'm going to show you real quickly how you can convert all of these. These two right here, the upsize and the move, is the same strategy. Okay? So I want you to write down. We're going to wait on the market. Upsizing or horizontal. Number one. Okay? If they wait, how do you show them this? Number one, future appreciation doesn't help you, and if you're upsizing, it hurts you. Let me show you. Got $1 million house, okay? It was worth $1 million. Let me see. It was worth $1 million when I bought it. Now it's worth $800,000. How much have I lost? Is that real?
Yeah.
A lot of people lost
Yes.
easily.
Yes.
Okay, lost $200,000. And they said, well, I lost $200,000, so I'm going to wait for the market to improve. Okay. One, how long are they going to have to wait?
Forever.
We don't know.
Okay. We don't know. Could it go down further?
Oh, yes.
Very, very possibly could go down further. Some of you believe it's going to get better, some worse, some are going to stay the same, but it doesn't matter. Okay? If they're waiting for the market to get better and they're moving across or they're moving up, is there an advantage in terms of appreciation in waiting, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay? The answer is no. Why? If I could buy this property, it was worth $1 million there, it's worth $800,000 today. What happens if I wait for it to go back up?
Same
What-
thing happens.
Same thing happens here. So you gain anything by waiting? No, not on appreciation. What if I'm buying this property, and this property is today worth 1.6 million today, and I can sell this for 800, buy this for 1.6. Is there an advantage in terms of appreciation by waiting till the market gets better?
No.
Because it'll be dramatically higher.
You actually lose, because if this property goes up 20%, what happens when this property goes up 20%? It's gonna be worth 2 million. So I just lost 400,000 by waiting.
Yes.
Anybody that's upsizing, and guys, this should be a slam dunk, now is the time to buy. Number one, because appreciation hurts you. If they're buying across, appreciation doesn't help you by waiting. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So advantage number one, future appreciation doesn't help. And depreciation, okay, is uncertain, and it is either gonna not hurt you, and here, it doesn't, if it depreciates more, it's not gonna be much. Okay, number two, low interest rates. Okay, if they're gonna wait 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years for the market to improve, what's gonna happen to interest rates? Higher or lower or the same?
Go ahead.
Virtually almost certainty it's gonna be higher. Okay, so what they do, they save on monthly expenses by, because watch this, if I'm selling this one and buying this one, I'm also getting a refi right now. Lower interest payment, lower payment, right? Okay, so I'm getting that advantage. Number three, what is property tax based on in California?
Purchase price.
Purchase price. So I'm gonna wait for the market to improve. This goes from 800 to $1 million. This one does the same. What did I just do when I buy this one now at $1 million? I didn't hurt losing any appreciation, but what did I lose on?
Taxes.
Property taxes. So buy while the market's down, because if I'm buying here, and especially if I'm buying here, I'm buying at a lower tax base. Make sense? Do you think homeowners think about this stuff?
No.
Okay? Do you think, what do you think most agents know about this?
No, they don't.
Agents don't even think about it. I'm like, hello?
Not only do they think about it, great deals go in the toilet over that small tax.
Oh, guys, watch this. Whoa, we're not gonna buy it because they won't do this. And they kiss off a great deal over $5,000. Guys, help them. But your job is to become a problem solver with people. See, if you understood that you're not a real estate agent, you're a problem solver for people that want to buy and sell real estate. And you get educated and understand these simple numbers and how it works. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So, and then the fourth advantage is, why are they making this move? Upsize or cross us? Why are they making the move?
How about location?
Location? Would you say it's because they want to make a move into a situation they like better? Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the other advantage? You get to be where you want to be sooner. Does that make sense? Which is what it's all about to begin with. If you can afford it and it makes sense financially, wouldn't you like to be closer to the beach now rather than later? Wouldn't you like to be in that newer property rather than sitting in the old dump now? Wouldn't you like to get the 4th bedroom instead of the 2-bedroom with your kids or your teenage kids, or sharing a bathroom? Okay? I mean, do you want to spend the next 2 years with your 2 teenage boys fighting over the bathroom, or your teenage boy and teenage girl? Or would you like to get into a 3-bedroom where they each have their own or 3-bath where they have their own bathroom? Wouldn't that be great? So it's not just the money, it's just they get to be where they want to be sooner. You guys see that? Okay? Right there is a huge opportunity for people that say we want to wait. Now, it's 1 o'clock, so the class is over. Okay? Because I told you I had to be done at 1 o'clock. If you want to see how to downsize and to help this, you're free to stay. Okay? Anybody want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I show them downsizing is downsizing if they don't want to wait because they're going to downsize? All right? So let's just say, again, we got the example. And so I'm just saying, if you need to leave, you can leave. Okay? Class over, but this one to me is very, very powerful. Okay? So they bought it $1 million, it's worth $800,000. They're saying, well, we want to wait till the market improves because we want to downsize, but we've lost how much?
200.
Wait, is that a lot of money, yes or no?
Yeah.
200,000 is a freaking lot of money. Okay? They've lost a ton of money. Okay, so we all agree on that, right? We want to downsize. Now understand, they've got to have enough equity. If they bought this with, stupid loan, they may be in trouble.
Right.
Okay, I mean, if somebody can't sell their house, they can't short sell it because they have money and they have income and all that, can they sell their house, yes or no? If they don't have the capital to bring in, they can't do it. Can they sell it? No. Okay, are there people today that can't sell their house? Yeah, there are people that are upside down and yet they can make the payments. They can't strategically default. And they can't do a strategic short sale because that's called
Fraud.
Fraud, okay? And if they do it, do some people do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't help them. Okay, unless you wanna, get another career. So, and that career may not be like market stuff, because from prison, there's only so many options that you have. So, here I am, they've lost money, it's a legitimate loss. What are the reasons why they should do it today? So I wanna just I wanna show you something. So, first question is, why do they wanna make the downsize? There's gotta be a reason, okay? So what are some typical reasons people wanna downsize?
Can't
You
afford
know
the
what
payment.
stairs?
Financial stress, can't afford the stairs. What?
They'd rather be in a one-story home.
They've been in a two-story, they wanna be in a one-story.
Their kids are gone.
Their kids are gone. They want to relocate to be closer to kids, or maybe a shorter commute. In other words, there's a whole lot of reasons for convenience that they want to make the move. So there's financial reasons, okay? There's personal reasons, there's time, location, desirability. I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons. Does the reason matter?
No.
Okay, everybody say yes.
Yeah.
Because what's the most important thing about a seller selling their house?
Motivation.
Motivation.
Yes.
If they don't want to, if they're not motivated to make the move, downsizing makes no sense.
Right.
Okay? In this market, they're losing $200,000. Now, by waiting, are they going to get that back? Probably.
No, but not really.
Depends on how long they want to wait.
Yeah.
Okay? If you want to wait 20 years, I'm pretty sure they're going to get it back. 5 years? Don't know. Probably, but we don't know.
We don't.
And if they're going to wait a year or two, probably not. And if they're waiting, if they want to be closer to watch the grandkids grow up, they're going to miss 2 years and probably still lose the $200,000. Make sense? Okay, so watch this. If they make the move now, so let me ask you this, Mr. and Ms. Seller, if you could make the move now and it made sense for you financially, is being closer to your grandkids something you'd be excited about? Well, yeah, if we make it, great. Well, why don't we do this? Let's set up a time to get together and look at the options. And just look and see the numbers and kind of see what it would take to actually make this work, and if it would be something that would be good for you. Okay, because you would like to be closer to your grandkids, right? But you're not wanting to take a beating financially and lose $200,000, right? So if it cost you nothing, if you didn't lose any money, would you be okay with that? Oh, absolutely, great. So let's set up a time to meet. So here's then we're going to sit down and meet. So let's just talk about it. So let's say they're selling a $800,000 house that they bought for $1 million, and they're downsizing to a, let's say a $500,000 house. Let me reframe this because I want to calculate my numbers on something different. Let's say they bought it. Let's say they bought it. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just say it this way. Okay, what is their monthly payment right now? And they've got an $800,000 mortgage on it, let's say. What is their monthly payment on it now?
$4,000.
Okay, it's going to be with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance and everything. It's going to be about $5,400. If their interest rate is very low. Okay, I want to know that because I had a mortgage officer running an $800,000 jumbo loan on today's rates. Okay, is everybody okay with that? Legitimate? That's $5,400. Okay, $5,400. If they downsize and they take this and they buy and they go out and they get a, let me just redo this. The way I have this set up is they have a couple $100,000 in equity. Do they need equity to buy down?
Sure.
Okay, they need equity. So I'm going to say that these people they're $200,000 in equity. So I'm going to say the house is worth $1 million today. Okay, but let's say it was worth $1.4 million or $1.3 or $4 million 2 years ago. Okay, let's say it's worth $1.2 million because it depends on when they bought it. They bought it 10 years ago, and it was worth $1.2 million, and now it's worth $1 million. That's why we want to wait for the market to come back. Everybody with me? Okay. So they've got the equity to make this move happen. So let's say they're going to get $200,000 out of it, but they're still losing $200,000 in their mind. Make sense? They take this equity and they downsize and they buy a smaller property. Okay, and so let's say they take out a $300,000 mortgage. And it can be $400,000. They can pay 20% down and do it, whatever it is. But let's just say it's a $300,000 mortgage because they've got the equity here. They bring it out. They put it here. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay, how much are they saving in monthly payments? Well, you're going from $5,400 a month at $300,000. What are you looking at?
About 27.
Okay, about $2,000.
$2,000.
Okay, about $2,000 a month. How much am I saving in?
34 times 12.
I'm saving $3,400 a month, and times 12. How much is that?
40 grand.
That's That's over $40,000 a year. Everybody see that? Okay. Now, how much did I lose in equity?
200.
No, you didn't. You only lost $100,000. Can I show you why? Because this property you bought for $500,000, how much was it worth 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago? It was a $600,000 house. And because it had depreciated, they're actually getting more house than they could have bought when they bought this one. They're getting a better house. Does this make sense? So even though the market, the depreciation, the loss in the market value has not affected this one as much as this one, percentage-wise it has. So they actually got this one for $100,000 better deal in this market than they did in the good markets. Because what happens if they wait till the market comes back and this one goes back up to 1.2 million? What happens to this one? It goes back up to 600,000. So they're going to lose. They're going to get back 200,000 here, but they're going to have to pay 100,000 more. So their actual loss in making this move in terms of equity is actually only $100,000. Is that important for them to understand?
Yes.
Okay. Do most real estate agents understand that?
No.
And do most agents, if they do understand it, know how to explain it? You got to learn how to explain that. Okay, if they see you're actually only going to lose 100,000, well, I don't want to lose 100,000. I understand that. So let me show you something. You're wanting to downsize, right? You're going to downsize on your cost. You're saving $40,000 a year. So how many years does it take to get that back?
2.5.
Less than 2.5 years. Now watch this. What have I not talked about? Are utilities going to be lower?
Property tax.
Okay, our property tax, well, I included that, PIT I was included in this, but property taxes are gonna be lower. Is upkeep and maintenance gonna be lower?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cleaning it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be easier to take care of a smaller home than a bigger home if that's part of their motivation? If their motivation was because of a commute or to be closer to their grandkids, again, they get to be where they wanna be sooner rather than later, and financially, in the next 2.5 years, they're ahead. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, are there conditions that could keep them from being able to do this based on equity and all that kind of stuff? Absolutely. But if that's a condition, you can't do anything about it. See, what's a condition? It's a fact you can't change. But are there people that are in this situation that could downsize today, but they're just hurting because they lost so much equity? Okay, so I just wrote down to summarize it, what are the advantages for them of doing it now? Number one, lower payment. Number two, lower expenses, taxes, property, insurance, utilities, and upkeep. Number three advantage, less work. In terms of upkeep, property, cleaning the house, so forth, and upkeep, there's less work. Number four, less stress or more comfort. Less stress if it was financial reasons they were downsizing. Because watch this, does this give them immediate financial relief by downsizing now and losing $200,000 in equity? Does it give them immediate financial relief? Yeah, to the tune of $3,400 a month. Would anybody like an extra $3,400 a month in your pocket right now? Okay? You can sell your $1 million house and buy a $500,000 house with equity, with your equity. Okay? Huge cash relief. So they get to be, if it's less stress or more comfort, shorter commute, be closer to family, be closer to what they want to be in a newer home, whatever it is, it allows them to do that. And then, and so it's that whatever those other motivations are, they get it sooner rather than later. Now, are there opportunities